Well, hello again. I thought I'd do a little news recap, I guess, for the week with how things are faring out with the Acolyte, which not too much news about the show, but a lot of it's just fan reactions. But you get interesting stuff like this, which I like this. It basically it says one of the writers in the room has never watched Star Wars, which I think is a great idea. I think it's like she says in this quote. She says, I was like, I want you to be questioning narrative. I don't want myself as a lifelong fan to just be relying on particular references in order to create emotional beats. I want those emotional beats to be earned and checked by someone that isn't familiar with it, which is great. I think that's a great idea. I think it's great that you have someone in the room that says, I don't particularly like this, right? So it creates friction, and through that friction, you can kind of say, okay, well, what do you don't like? And then you can kind of pick each other's thoughts and pick each other's arguments apart and see where it kind of meets in the middle, and maybe find like a nice meeting in the middle where someone has a decent answer for something, or someone has an opposing opinion that you might not have thought of about yourself, or about the story, right? Because usually when writers write things, they're writing it because they write what they like, right? So a lot of times they won't be able to adapt what they're writing if they never see a differing opinion, because I might write a whole bunch of action stuff, right? But someone's like, okay, that's great, but there's non-stop action, but there's never time for someone to develop characters, or the characters never take enough time to talk about things to really develop the story outside of amazing action that you might be able to write. But if you can't write amazing dialogue, characters don't really matter too much. So this is great. This is something I definitely like to see, right? So people, regardless of whether you're the hate mob that just automatically hates stuff, or like the woke agenda Star Wars people that are out there, doesn't matter what group you're in. If you read something like this, you should feel pretty good and pretty happy about it. This is something I like to read and I like to hear about this show, right? Moving on to the next piece of news, you're also getting some crazy stuff like this where this guy is insane. Disney is allergic to having a white protagonist. This is insane. He got Twitter noted. I forget what it's called. He got community noted, which is insane. Like, how can you? There's no way this guy's got to be good. There's no way he's saying this, right? So I guess he saw this tweet, saw that the person in the picture was a person of color. I guess he just wasn't happy about this reason, which is insane because there's so many. Anakin. Like, look, this person has listed this all. The Rey for 3 movies. Main character Jyn Erso, Rogue One, great movie. Obi-Wan Kenobi. How do you miss that? How have you not watched Star Wars before? The young Han Solo, the Han Solo movies. Cal Kestis, the two Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order games. Great games. Main character is white. Insane. I mean, you go back. You got Luke Skywalker. You got the original trio, all white and Caucasian actors, right? This is insane. To be able to say this with your chest out loud like that, I don't know. There's people out there that say crazy stuff like this, and there's just no thought into it. You're just upset and screaming into the void, right? Here's even more characters. I don't even know who this character is. I'd love to figure out who this is. I love Star Wars. I watch a lot of Star Wars. I don't know who that is just based on the picture, right? But again, this is insane. Like, they got this guy, Punch It, Chewy Press, going to WonderCon. Hope you have a good time there. This Brandon guy is insane. Yeah, how could you say that? Like, there's so many white protagonists. Like, it's crazy. And then moving on from that, but there's an extreme fan opinion reaction to Star Wars, which is crazy. In other news, so this is confirmed news. So there's also Vernestra Rowe, who is a character, will have a purple lightsaber that can turn to a whip, or a light whip. If anybody ever read any of the Legends books, I forget her name. I believe it was Luminara. She had a light whip. She was always out there trying to kill Luke. She used to work for Vader and Sidious and the Empire. Always trying to kill Luke in the books. Luke and her always had beef, and along with his wife Mara Jade. If you guys haven't read the Legend books, go read them. They're great. Seeing them bring something cool like this, a light whip, very cool. Only thing I'm kind of jaded about is that it's purple. I feel like we should let the Mace Windu's color, because that was like a really unique thing for his character. But regardless, it doesn't matter. Not like getting to see some of the more cool weapons out there, like the light whip. We've seen the Shoto sabers, like the shorter ones. I believe Ahsoka, if I remember correctly, I think Ahsoka had a Shoto in the Clone Wars series, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but this is cool. It'd be nice to see some other cool things like light was one of them. I think it's really cool. I know there's others out there. I can't think of off the top of my head. Nah, I can't think of anything else. But light was one of those cool, force user weapons that we get to see. Very cool. Cool. Good. That's gonna be a cool thing to see in the show. I hope it gets incorporated greatly. In other news, you got some more fan rage. Shocker. There's always something going on with like Star Wars fans that are just upset recently within like the past 5 years. Let's see. This guy tweeted out, "It would be a huge mistake to retcon the original lore and not have Darth Tenebris as the Dark Lord and Sith Master and # the Acolyte." And this guy replies back, "It would be a huge mistake going to the Acolyte with any preconceived notions or headcanon. Watch the show for fuck's sake before you start making shit takes like this," which I agree. Like I said in the last video with my reaction to the show, you really shouldn't judge something unless you watch it in its entirety, right? It's the same way I feel about music. I like to listen to music and albums, right? I don't like to judge, like, yeah, some people have some great singles, but I really like to listen to a whole album, because albums, I like the concept albums, right? What was the theme of the album? What was the message trying to say the album, right? So I like to listen to the entire thing in its entirety, then I can make my judgments and make my opinions, right? I don't just like to pick out the parts and say, yeah, this is great. I like to look at the thing as a whole. So, again, this guy really shouldn't be jumping to conclusions and assuming the show's going to be shit. As Disney put out a lot of great Star Wars productions recently that I've liked. Not all of them. Season 7 Clone Wars I really enjoyed. Andor was amazing. Outside of that, Bad Batch is good. Bad Batch is good. It's good. It's not great. It's good. I haven't watched Season 3 of Bad Batch yet, but Bad Batch is good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the characters. It's a good successor to the Clone Wars series, right? Talking about the Darth Tenebris and, worry about people worried about breaking canon and the Sith lore and everything, all this stuff. I get it. I get people being worried about this, but I don't think that it's taken close enough in the timeline where Darth Tenebris is even a thing, right? For those of you who don't know, Darth Tenebris is the Sith Master of Plagueis the Wise. Everybody knows the great story of Plagueis the Wise. If you don't, you should absolutely go get the book, buy the book, read it, or buy it on Audible if you get the extra cash flow. I have an Audible subscription. I love Audible. Audible, if you read this, sponsor me. Love your shit. I love listening to stuff, listening to books. Anytime I drive somewhere, I always have like an Audible audiobook playing, right? It's great. So I haven't finished this book. I'm halfway through it, right? Started it, stopped it. I keep coming back to it and going through it little by little. But it's great. It talks about Plagueis the Wise and how he trained Darth Sidious and Sidious's rise to power through political means and his childhood and what made him the giant evil psychopath that he is. It's great. But that's me only being halfway through the book, so there's a whole other half to it that's going to explore a whole bunch more with Sidious and how do you usurp Plagueis, right? So it's a great book. People should go check this out. But back to this. Again, I believe this takes place 100 years before the Phantom Menace. So could we see Tenebris? Possibly, but this is taken during the High Republic era. The High Republic era was a huge gap that they're still exploring, right? If you're not even reading the High Republic books, go read those two, or go listen to the Audible books. Star Wars Audible books are great. They have sound effects, voice acting. It is amazing, right? So you don't exactly even have to stick to this. This doesn't have to be, canon lore, right? There's definitely room where you can fit a story in there, right? And I'm not a huge fan of like them, Disney Star Wars just trying to fill in the gaps as much as possible, right? So they're avoiding, moving forward with the story with Rey and everything. Not a huge fan of the Rey movies myself, but filling the gaps can be dangerous, right? Because then what if you don't give yourself enough room to be able to tell your story without screwing something else up in the canon timeline, right? But regardless, I don't think this should be something that people are going to worry about. Darth Tenebris, I think there's plenty of room within the High Republic timeline between High Republic and the start of the Phantom Menace where they can fit something like this. Again, we don't know who the Sith is that they're going to run into, who they're fighting. Do the Jedi make it back to the Council? There's a lot. I could go on. I could talk about that for 20 minutes. Easy. Other sad news, unfortunately, Diane Crittenden, if you don't know who she is, she was the casting director for the original Star Wars movies. She casted these 3 amazing actors, and one actress, 2 actors, 1 actress. Amazing casting. Sorry to see her go. She helped, bring this great fandom to what it is, along with Lucas. And in other news, this is kind of cool. I might do this. I don't know. I have literally nothing better to do with the day this happens. all 9 films in the Skywalker saga will release in theaters on May the 4th. I don't know if this is going to be like, you're just going to be playing the movies from beginning to end in like a full 24 hours or something. I don't even know how many hours. 9 movies. I don't even know. I don't know if they're gonna play like one big marathon, like back to back to back to back in like a theater or something. I don't know. I might mess around and go check that out. Just because it might be fun for the nostalgia. I like watching the Star Wars. I've watched all of them, even the new trilogy. I love to watch it to hate it, right? So that's this week in Star Wars news. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you feel about the Acolyte show. Tell me what you're looking forward to it. Tell me what you're worried about it. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you do like about the trailer that you saw. Leave in the comments down below. Drop a like. Drop a subscribe. Thanks for watching.